Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. 172 million XRP SEC Ponzi scheme busted. We're going to get into it. There's another delisting. You need to know about it. Ron Hinman this week in Congress. We'll get you up to date. 655 billion crypto investment. Whoa! Warren Buffett backed crypto bank. I thought Warren didn't like crypto. European Central Bank, we got news for you. Ethereum in trouble, but guess who said it? We'll tell you. XRP integration continues, and we'll get a technical analysis update on a possible trend reversal for XRP. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Give us a follow right now. $1.055 trillion for the market cap for crypto, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. It is August 2nd, 2022. Bitcoin right now, 22,900 plus. Ethereum, 1,500, almost $1,600, up 15+% on the 7-day right now. XRP is at 37 cents. We're up 13.53%. Whoa, that's a hell of a number right there. Let's take a look very quickly at the range of price. We're 37 cents on the bottom, 39 on the top. We'll keep an eye on it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you about this very quickly right here. The Ripple Q2 report came out just a few days ago, and I tell you, it was spectacular. Record quarter for on-demand liquidity, grew 9 times year over year. $100 million commitment to carbon markets. Creator funds supported several projects. Balmain and Lotus NFT launches on the XRP Ledger partnership with Fincy, Fluff World, Zange, and many others. I tell you, it was incredible. But I have to ask myself, how much longer will we be able to buy Ripple shares, known as SPVs, on Link2.com? Private investing made simple. They have the best companies that are behind this space. And if you want a chance to get into them, click the link right here to get the best deals if they're going. And if not, click the link underneath the video as well, and you can check out and see if you're accredited to participate. Take a look right here. 172 million XRP transferred between exchanges and unknown wallets as Ripple locks 700 million XRP back up in escrow. I tell you, I'm always fascinated by this. And I tell you, I know some people laugh at the idea of where are the retail exchanges going to get the liquidity from, but it is a very real question. And I do not believe you can answer it in 1 week, in 1 day. I think you have to monitor what's going on here. Look, Ripple has said since 2019, Q4 2019, I believe was a report, they stopped selling programmatic sales to retail exchanges. The only ones they're messing with up till today is the ones that are participating in on-demand liquidity related businesses. Ripple also announced some time ago that they are buying back off of the exchanges that you and I buy on. And we also know that they started a lending line of credit program, which I think is very key to what they're doing and going forward. And remember, Ripple has always said it is their mission that they are not consumer facing whatsoever. So it doesn't mean that we can't hold it. I'm not trying to suggest that, but we have to ask ourselves, since Jed McCaleb's wallet has sold out of 9 billion XRP, where will retail exchanges that do not participate in on-demand liquidity continue to get XRP from? And we have to watch that up into and probably beyond the resolution of this case to find out if it is an issue or not. SEC charges 11 people an alleged $300 million crypto Ponzi scheme. It's right here, ladies and gentlemen. The project called Forsage claimed to be decentralized smart contract platform. Forsage allowed millions of retail investors to enter into transactions via smart contracts that operate on Ethereum, Tron, Binance blockchains. Now, We'll keep you up to date to that. But I tell you, there is even more news here when it comes to the SEC, because the U.S. regulated arm of crypto exchange Binance is delisting one of the tokens that the U.S. SEC has said and recognized that it is a security in a recent insider trading case. Now, this really proves that, regulation through enforcement is working, and it's working in the worst way. AMP is now the one in the crosshairs, and it is being delisted by Binance US. The U.S., until there's more clarity on its situation with the SEC regulators, Binance said, and this is what Gary Gensler's plan is to cite these tokens and projects in other cases and scare the crypto platforms out of listing some of these tokens. And I tell you, they're going to go to a point. I'm waiting for what John Deaton has said, and I totally agree with him that we're going to see an exchange be sued at some point here to make his point and bring it on home at the SEC for Gary Gensler. When you see yourself as a hammer, everything is a nail. This is just the beginning, says Bill Belisarius, who we appreciate greatly. Ripple was sued and XRP was delisted by most U.S. exchanges. AMP was merely called a security by the SEC in the SEC versus Wahai, it says, case, and not sued itself, and has had a delisting. The SEC strategy is successfully unfolding. And I tell you, really is, and it is troubling, and it is aided by the tribalism and maximalism in this space. But when will we see the SEC clean its own house? Right here from Crypto Law, Division of Corporate Finance letter of 2019 to Chris Lynn and Canaan, responding to its registration for an IPO. This all ties back into William Hinman here and his tenure here, and we know that there are massive conflicts of interest. Well, check this out. On August 19, 2019, William Hinman emailed Chris Lynn, partner of Simpson Thacher, and it says agreeing to meet on August 22nd after Lynn asked to report on what is going on in China while he was in the U.S. for a NASDAQ meeting. Here is that correspondent right here. Then we see this. The same day, August 19, 2019, Hinman Division of Corporate Finance filed its reply to Lynn's draft IPO registration from Canaan, a Chinese BTC ETH mining equipment maker, filing to go public on the NASDAQ. And then you can see that exchange happened right here and that filing right there. So there you have that. And then you have this. William Hinman agreed to meet with the partner of a firm in which he had a direct financial conflict to apparently discuss its business before the SEC. More than a year after the SEC ethics warned him such contacts would violate criminal financial conflict rules. It says it right here, just as clear as it can be said. You have a bar under the criminal financial conflict with the Simpson because you have an ongoing financial interest in the firm. How many times had he been told and warned? When is the SEC going to clean its own house and try to restore some level of integrity back in that building? Again, we're reminded here very quickly that there is a delay on the regulations for stablecoins till after August, cited by Patrick McHenry that we should shoot for September, maybe October. But here's the most recent update from Ron Hammond very quickly, who we appreciate here. He says there is widely reported that the powerful House members, Patrick McHenry and Maxine Waters, working on comprehensive bill to regulate stablecoins. However, the text and next steps are still unclear. Here is the latest. First and foremost, the fact that no one besides those crafting the actual legislation has seen the bill text. Why? Because negotiations between senior D's and R's are still ongoing. There has been a lot of coverage of what could be in the bill, but it's speculation. Non-banks issuing stable coins, Fed as a potential regulator. Hello, Michael Esbar, former Ripple advisor, former U.S. Treasury official. U.S. or CBDCs, foreign stablecoin issuers, and many other potential elements of the bill have been reported by several outlets. The thing to keep in mind is that there are a hefty amount of policy options on the table. Very quickly here, with the House out of session this week, the staff will continue hashing out the details of the bill text. It says if both parties get to an agreement, then the Chair Waters said a draft will circulate with the public for input. This could take a week or a month or more. There is a lot happening, so why now? The R is likely to regain control of the House and potentially the Senate. Many are speculating why there is a push to regulate stablecoins now when Rs will likely have a stronger negotiating position in 2023. I have mentioned the same point. In our conversations with policymakers and staff, many believe stablecoin regulation is an area of crypto policy that could solicit bipartisan support, which is true, he says. There are many Ds and Rs that align on stablecoin regulation principles, but it gets tricky in the weeds, he says. Even if Rs wait until 2023 to pass their version of stablecoin regulation, the D administration could block it or bog down the process if they don't see eye to eye. Politics can always complicate the legislative process, but there is a chance this comes together this year, as he goes on to highlight the things that are there. So we will keep an eye on that, but that is where we are. There's a very short window to get this hopeful bipartisan effort done before the November elections and the end of the year. Meanwhile, this is not what you call dipping your toe in the water. This is all in, baby. $655 billion investment giant Charles Schwab to launch new crypto-themed ETF. The asset management arm of one of the biggest financial institutions in the world is set to launch a new crypto-themed exchange-traded fund. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? And Warren Buffett, who said he wouldn't walk across the street for a free Bitcoin. I get it. I understand. But he backs the new bank. It's a cryptocurrency bank that has just crossed 1 million crypto users in less than a month. How about that? He wins again. Warren Buffett, go for it, man. A recent study conducted by the European Central Bank on identifying the ultimate cross-border payment medium crowned central bank digital currencies as the winner against competitors, including banking, Bitcoin, and stablecoins, among others. Did you think it was going to be any other way? Because I didn't. What I'm reminded in this moment is what James Wallace told us from Ripple. And what he told us is that CBDCs are in fact the native token on the XRP ledger. XRP is just merely a bridge for where it is applicable and necessary to help in that exchange of payments and moving of value. Keep that one in mind. Don't be distracted, because it sounds very negative at first when you think, oh, CBDCs, they're not going to use anything else. No, that isn't true. Right? And here, going all the way back to 2020 here, it says, if I just show you what Marcus Treacher was saying at his time, still there at Ripple at that time, interoperability is key to the future of global payments. As the first member of the ISO 20022 standards body focused on distributed ledger technology, we are committed to supporting the evolving needs of our customers and supporting industry-wide standards for all. You know, I have said this many times, that when I think of Ripple XRP, especially XRP, I don't see it as just another digital asset in this space. I see XRP as a digital asset that is a part of the backbone of this digital space. That's my digital perspective, not financial advice. Going on to this other tweet right here. Very excited when Craig DeWitt, who's now started Super Mojo, shout out to Craig DeWitt, no longer at Ripple now, but backed by Ripple with the new project and others. Very exciting. He was brought on to the U.S. Payments Council Cross-Border Working Group. Some heavy hitters on that team at the time, including him. Remember this? This was just back in June of this year. They brought on Faster Payments Council and Ripple side by side, have launched crypto payments and survey designed to gauge on what blockchain and cryptocurrencies and payments should be used going forward. How about that one? Yeah, I'd say that's good news. And more good news is Ripple partner Bank of America says Ethereum needs scalability improvements to hold its market position. Bank of America says they got trouble, and Binance Smart Chain, Tron, Avalanche, and Solana have taken market share from Ethereum thanks to their greater scalability and lower transaction fees. All of this in this article cites the fact that it comes down to Ethereum's proof of stake transition. And if it can make that transition, it's got a chance to survive. And if it doesn't, more than likely, it's going to go by the wayside. But don't take my word for it. Listen to this developer right here who lays it down about Ethereum. Listen to what he said.
Well, I'm heavily biased, so I started out as a developer on the Ethereum platform. I developed on the Ethereum platform, and then I gave up on the Ethereum platform. I'm here to tell you that Ethereum does not work, that if you are looking at developing on the Ethereum platform, you should stop looking. You should look at EOS, because that's a viable platform, and you can build something on EOS. Stellar is also a viable platform. You can build something on Stellar. You're not going to be building something useful on Ethereum.
How about that one? That's coming from a developer right there. I mean, that is just powerful. And you could hear his frustration, even though he tells you he's biased. He's biased because he's found success moving forward, and these other people laugh and giggle. I'm reminded of what Digital Asset Investor said in one of his videos a couple years ago. I think it's first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. Right? I think it's something like that right there. Shout out to him. And we see more continued integration happening right here with Mercurio. A global payment network is the latest fintech company to add support for XRP. And that is massive for us. Now, let's take a look at this very quickly. I put this video out just a few days ago, and it really has been well received. And I'm not going to play the whole thing again for you so you can breathe a sigh of relief. But I said when I put this out, I am 12 years short a law degree, but Ripple on-demand liquidity combined with line of credit plus the new feature wallet send proves the structure of this offering under the Reves test. XRP is money, not a security, when something is a note. Now, I'm going to play just a piece of this so you can get aligned for what I'm going to show you next. Take a listen here.
I wanted to move on to the new product offering that we released last swell. That's come a long way, and we've made a lot of additions to it. This is what we're calling line of credit. 2% annualized is low. Rates as low as 2% is pretty competitive and pretty compelling, I think, to any business. And then lastly, it's one central relationship. So you don't necessarily need to have a credit relationship with every partner or every corridor that you're moving into. You don't have to have credit relationships in different currencies. We're basically opening up a credit relationship in with anywhere that you use ODL or anywhere that you make payments over the ODL rails.
The U.S. Supreme Court in Reves versus Ernst & Young adopted the family resemblance test to determine whether a note is a security. Under the family resemblance test, one must start with the presumption that a note is a security.
Is there any greater assumption that XRP is a security than for the SEC to sue them over the matter?
Under the family resemblance test, one must start with the presumption that a note is a security, which presumption is rebutted if the note bears a resemblance to one of the enumerated categories on a judicially developed list of exceptions. The following is a list of notes that have been determined to fall outside the definition of a security. A note delivered in consumer financing, a note secured by a mortgage on a home, a short-term note secured by a lien on a small business or some of its assets, a note evidencing a character loan in a bank to a bank customer, a short-term note secured by an assignment of accounts receivable, a note which simply formalizes an open account debt incurred in the ordinary course of business, a note which simply formalizes an open account debt incurred in the ordinary course of business, such as a trade payable for office supplies, and a note evidencing loans by commercial banks for current operations. The family resemblance analysis requires a consideration of the motivation of the seller and buyer, i.e., is the seller looking for investment and is the buyer looking for a profit? 2, the plan of distribution of the note, i.e., is it being marketed as an investment, such as in a private offering? 3, the expectation of the creditor investor, i.e., do they intend the investment to be a security, and for the presence of an alternative regulation such as the banking laws for bank loans. Also, even if a note fits within one of the categories, if the note is a convertible note such that it can convert into a clear security, such as common stock, it would become a security, as the creditor would then be making an investment decision to exchange their debt for a security.
So there we have it. That's what the Reves test is. And it seems a lot like, to me, that line of credit program sets up a scenario where it proves through that family resemblance test that XRP is in fact money, and it is not convertible to a security at all. It's a bridge between things of value. It doesn't become those things. That's the important thing to remember. And at least one lawyer right here is starting to pick up on it himself. Shout out to Mr. Intuitive. I believe he is the official cool guy of the Digital Asset Investor channel. He says, I'm 10 years long a law degree, and it sounds like Mr. I should fire some attorneys and hire Kimes. Come on in. You know, this is really, really getting interesting. And shout out to Mr. I for responding, because I've asked a lot of legal analysts in this space to chime in on this, and it's usually crickets. And if there was not a there, I think they would say there is no there. So it's pretty interesting that this is this kind of thing that goes along and doesn't really get talked about. And where did all of this come from? Take a look.
Test. There's other broad brushes with regard to this as well, as to when something is a note, called the Reves test that Thurgood Marshall wrote.
Looks a lot like a securities offering, right? And so we're going to treat that as a securities offering. We're going to regulate that. And so that's kind of how we look at it through that lens. Now, there are other pieces of the definition of security, like what's a note, that may come up in the crypto context as well.
And there you have it. That's where it keeps coming from. It doesn't come from this YouTuber. I'm just reporting my digital perspectives on what I see. This is not financial advice. It's just my digital perspectives. And very quickly here on the TA front, EggRag Crypto says 20 and 200 MA are descending channel. It says shorter MA20 crosses below longer MA200 is bearish. It's a signal, but, and we emphasize on but, these MAs are lagging indicators. It means we might have witnessed the start of a trend reversal 8 weeks ago. And just taking a look here quickly at the chart, you can see this channel we're in and where we are with price. We'll definitely keep an eye on it. I know everyone does. No doubt about it. We'll see where we're going. But there's a couple fundamental things that I'm looking for to take place that are not really good news. And I don't mean to put ice water in anyone's veins. But I'm waiting for the SEC to officially sue an exchange. And then I'm waiting for a possible rug pull on USD Tether as well. What would that do to the market if those two events happen? I'm not saying it will, but it is certainly a high probability that something's going to take place in those two areas. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Again, not financial advice, just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.